I don't know if people, when I talk with several customers, they do not realize one single fact out there about the internet. And I think RenderMan really points out this quite well. We are 100 milliseconds away from every jerk out there in the internet. In other words, it is not, I live in Puerto Rico, so I'm isolated, I don't have to worry about getting hacked. Into your environment and business, that can cost you tons and tons of money. But now you don't want to train your people. Does your teams have good relationships? Many times, but many people actually do not care if teams inside of an organization actually talk to each other. In fact, many times they like making the security team the bad guys. Or they like making the QA guys the bad guys. But if your teams do not work well together, that's a dysfunctional relationship there. Do you really like fighting and bitching with your wife at home? No, you're supposed to work together because then you're happy. If not, you're a masochist. That's another thing all by itself. Another thing is, how mature are your processes? How many times I have gone to customers that they're, let me reduce the use of the F word. Their freaking backup solution is to actually have somebody actually put a tape drive into a tape into the tape drive, do the backup, remove it, put the other one, and go like, it's not a mature process. A mature process means that you've already done it by hand, you know how it works, you look at ways of automating that process, you've automated that process, and then you have other measures to test if that process was successful or not. But we don't do it. We don't look at our processes and how we do stuff and how we can improve that kind of work. Like patching. Everybody, I was talking with some of the other speakers, and we were talking that many times we'll see people get pissed that they don't, pen testers, they don't want to be doing vulnerability assessments. And many times, and the way we see it is, if I can go into your network and the exploit from Microsoft, MS0867 is still there, you don't need a fucking pen test. You need to learn how to do your shit, period. If you don't know how to do your job, don't do it. Don't be in this industry. If you haven't patched your servers and you still have a patch that you haven't applied for 4 years, how do you expect to be secure? We're talking about a hole that's 4 years old that my 6-year-old can actually exploit a bunch of folks using Metasploit in no time flat. Now, we gotta learn how to do our stuff. We gotta learn that our processes are mature and good enough. And patch is one of those. So, the why? Risk. If I don't have the information, how do I know what is my risk level? Am I at risk, yes or no? I need all of that information. That's just the basics. That's just the base. That's nothing fancy, nothing complicated. That's just the basic stuff that I actually need to do my stuff. To know if I'm at risk or not. Am I monitoring? Do I know what's happening on my network? Did somebody broke in? Did somebody creating services? Is somebody creating accounts? Scheduling tasks? And how do I hope to react if I don't even know what's going on? Not only that, how am I going to respond when people tell me, well, we got to do an investigation, let me see your logs. What logs? It's basics. Automating. Having tools to help you do that job. Once you know what the risks are and you know what you want to do, now you can actually start buying software and products and other stuff. But don't let the vendor, blow air up your skirt and tell you what you need. You're the one who's supposed to know it. And then you have the risk of malware and stuff. How many times have I gone to customers, I'm doing a pen test, my payload gets picked up by AV, 3 weeks later I'm ending my engagement, I'm handing over my report, and nobody ever looked at the AV report or alarm that a hacking tool was deployed to 24 servers. 3 weeks later, and they didn't know. And then when I submit my report, they go back and go like, hey, yeah, there's a bunch of alarms. Hey, and there's a bunch more from 3 months before that, or a year before that. Nobody's looking. Nobody, basics. So, what's really happening? Companies are going to spend $3.8 billion in computer security from 2012 to now, according to IDC, especially with small and medium businesses. This is from 2011 to 2012, now we're in 2013. A year and a half has already gone by since this. So we're spending money, so we should be more secure, right? Yeah, we're spending a lot of dough. Yet, most people are getting owned in minutes, according to the Verizon report. So, 43% got owned in seconds, 29 in minutes, and just keeps going down and down and down and down, those numbers. Not only that, but the worst part is that for them to find out that they actually got owned and stuff got stolen and stuff got compromised, that's awesome. So it took them days, typically weeks, and the worst part, months is the biggest number. Actually, it took them months to find out that stuff was stolen. In fact, there's an example of a big company here in the island where several local researchers, we actually found dumps of passwords, and we reported those to who we think got popped. And they go like, no, we don't. We didn't get hacked. I'm going, well, dude, most of the emails are One Link and Claro and Liberty. Those are local ISPs from the island. And not only that, but your name is in the password of half of the passwords that got dumped that we were able to crack. So it had to be you. Nope, we didn't get hacked. And they still refuse it to this day. Well, but people are not learning these basics. Well, what do we have? We have expensive locks. But look at that. What's wrong with that picture? I have a good chain. Yeah. I have a nice master lock, expensive lock there. But only one of the links is the flaw there, and everything fails. So that means if I'm not doing due diligence, I don't know my basics. I'm not taking care of my basics, the basic stuff that I'm supposed to know, the basic stuff I'm supposed to be doing, the basic stuff that I'm supposed to execute to be called a professional. How am I going to be secure? Don't worry, I'll go commando on him later on. So we're looking at this, and we got to go kind of to the basics of stuff. We got to know how to secure stuff. I come from a tactical background. My dad was in the Army. My grandfather was in the Army. My cousins were in Marine Corps. I used to be a tactical instructor for Sharks International. And one of the things we were always drilling into people is you got to know your basics. Once you know your basics and you can execute your basics, then you're a professional. Same thing goes with coding. I need to know how to code stuff. And if I don't practice coding, I don't know the basics of what a variable is, or for loop, the good practices, I cannot be a professional. Same things for driving. If I don't know how to freaking stop the car or turn it on, how am I supposed to be called a driver? I need to know the basics. Yet we don't focus on the basics. We focus on the cool stuff. We want the Ferrari, but we don't know how to use a chip, the standard drivetrain on a car. But we want the Ferrari. We forget about the basics. So, what do? First thing, we start learning. We invest on ourselves. Starts with the individual. We need to be the ones that change stuff. like any community, like anything else, we start with this single person, with ourselves. We gotta get better or get beaten. We gotta know our shit, period. And we gotta know it well, and we gotta invest in ourselves. It's not going 9 to 5, going to the job, go through the motion, then go home and just watch TV and put potato chips and shit into my face and eat and get fat. It is being able to spend the time and saying, I'm buying a book, I'm going to learn about this, I'm going to research it, I want to be better at my job. My job provides me these tools. Am I using them correctly, yes or no? Am I willing to go that extra mile and actually learn? You've got to look first at yourself. And the other part is community. If we don't come together as a security community, we're going to fail. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do here in the island with the NID 6, and one of the things that we're trying to do here with this conference is to get you guys to kind of network with each other and learn how to work together and build that community where we're actually relying on each other expertise. I've met guys here that are attending that I was talking out there. Damn, they're great coders. They know their stuff. And I know some stuff that they don't know, and we can help each other, and we can start kind of networking and learn. First we learn as an individual, then we grow as an individual, and then we can grow as a community, because then we can join together and work together. So we got to focus. We want to change, we got to start with basics. Basics is ourselves. Second is stop being an ass, put the ego in a box and lock it out somewhere and start working with each other. Let the ego outside the door. Be humble. Work as a community. So now it's time for change. Let's change it. Let's take the shit out the door and leave it out there. Well, guys, this is my rant. I hope you like my presentation. I know it's not too technical. I know my language was not the most politically correct, but those that know me, I'm not that politically correct to begin with. So I hope you like them. Any questions? Just in case, I didn't.